Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Trevor, and welcome back to another episode of Easy Sunday. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm just a regular guy like most of us who was once in really great shape and due to life and being busy has fallen out of shape. And now I'm using this series as a way to get back into shape with you guys by focusing on simple at-home workouts that focus on compound movements so we can do the most with our tight schedules and limited time. And if you're a returning viewer, thanks again. You may be wondering, why am I not in my garage? The whole premise of this was working out in the garage and filming in the garage. I don't know if you guys know, but it's summer and it is extremely hot. And unfortunately, the last time I was filming, my camera kept overheating. I was like cruelly sweating the entire time. So until I figure out the best way to cool down my garage, we may be filming from inside of my office for a little bit, but we'll definitely move back into the garage. Also, if you guys want this workout with rest days, progressive overload tips, and more, I'll have the full week's workout pinned in the comment. It's totally free. Just download it and get to work. All right, so today we're gonna be focusing on a shoulders and triceps workout. Again, this is kettlebell only, focusing on compound movements, and we're making the most out of the time that we have. So first, we're gonna start off like I do every one of my exercises. I do bodyweight push-ups and bodyweight squat. I've already talked about this. I use a sissy squat machine because I like to do some other variants, but you don't have to have a sissy squat machine or anything at all. You just need to be able to squat. That's all you need. Also, last time I talked about the kind of shoes you should wear, I said you should wear some sort of flat-footed shoe like Vans or just something similar. I grabbed a pair of these Saguaro barefoot shoes. They have a wide toe box. They're super bendy, they're super comfortable, and they're actually not that expensive. This pair cost me like $50. So I definitely recommend getting some of these. If you just want some good barefoot, flat foot shoes for leg exercises and don't want to spend a whole bunch on like the No Bull brand, this is a great option. And on the last episode, I did talk about how I was doing push-ups in a certain way to focus more on my upper chest. However, today I'm just doing a typical straight back push-up. I'm actually thinking about building some jump boxes or some other smaller boxes that I can use to elevate my feet a little bit to do a more of a decline push-up. So let me know if you'd be interested in a video like that to learn how to build boxes like that. Let's get into the main juice of the workout. All right. So we're gonna start off with a standing kettlebell strict press. Now, we're starting with a strict press. This is pure overhead strength, no legs, no bouncing, just you pushing the weight up. Maybe if you only have one kettlebell or it's a little bit too much weight and you're really struggling and you have to sort of jump to push it up, that's okay. I'm not trying to focus on any other movement other than just pushing with our shoulders, locking our elbows out, and bringing it back in slow and controlled. So for a form check, let's keep our core tight, our glutes squeezed, press straight up, biceps end next to your ears, and the bell travels close to your body as it comes back down. Avoid leaning back or flaring your rib cage. Really try to focus on standing straight up. Again, keep your core tight. If you need to breathe out as you come back down and take a breath and tighten your core before you push back up, that's totally fine. Try not to press too far in front of your face where you're having to angle your elbow out in front of you. Really make sure that your bicep is next to your ear. And as always, we're just gonna focus on 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Again, if you are hitting 12 super easy with no struggle, then you should think about ways to make it a little bit harder. If you don't have a kettlebell that goes up in an increment weight to help you progressively overload, then look at your own form and make sure that you're standing with your glutes and your core really tight. And if you're doing all those things right and it still feels too easy, think about ways to add a superset into this. Maybe you do a windmill in between each set. There are a lot of ways to make it more difficult, but definitely check your form and make sure that that is correct before you move up in weight. All right, next we're going to focus on a bottoms up Arnold press. This one was very foreign to me in the beginning. I used to do Arnold presses back in the day when I first started really getting into shape. Later I moved into more of like a bodybuilding style where I didn't do a lot of compound movements and I separated shoulders and triceps, but we're focusing on compound movements and this is a great one. Now the biggest issue with this is that you're holding the bell upside down and it is very risky that it could fall and hit you in the face or fall forward and hit your wrist. So I definitely recommend not doing what I did. I definitely recommend getting some grip chalk, some gym chalk, or something similar. I was really struggling to hold the kettlebell upside down as I was pushing it. It definitely aided in my my efforts to hold my core tight and really focus on balance. However, in times like this, I don't want to focus so much on trying to balance the weight itself. I really want to focus on just pushing and having one fluid movement. So I definitely recommend getting some chalk to help your grip there. Again, very similar movement with the press, except this time our elbow is going to be about a 90-degree angle in front of us, and we're going to push up as we rotate outwards and press smoothly overhead. Again, you should end with your bicep next to your ear As we come down, again, we're gonna reverse with the same control and stop when your elbow is 90 degrees. Obviously, if you need to come down a little bit further, to push back up, you can. However, it's definitely better to stop at around 90 degrees, so you're not relying on momentum, and also so the weight isn't coming down too far. Avoid rushing the movement. Definitely take the time to focus on pushing this up and back down. And of course, let's try to avoid letting the bell wobble or drift. I already mentioned to grab some chalk, and that would really help with that. This next exercise is a little bit captivating. If you don't know John Meadows, rest in peace, John Meadows was a very popular bodybuilder.
6 ways. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And that's all 1 rep. So that's what we're doing here. Now, this is a little bit more difficult with kettlebells. It definitely works better with dumbbells, but in the spirit of this being a kettlebell only exercise, I am doing them with kettlebells because this is one of those exercises that I truly believe in to get full rounded delts and shoulders. Especially if you're doing a lot of pressing movements, you're doing a lot of other movements. A lot of times you get a lot of very front delt, but not a lot of side or rear action. So this is here to combat that. So this one's all about control and range. The 6-point raise hits your shoulder from multiple angles, forcing you to really slow down and work through those weak spots. So we're gonna raise the kettlebell through 6 control positions. Avoid rushing through it. Avoid shrugging the shoulders or swinging the kettlebell if it feels like it's too much. It might be. This is literally one of those things that you can do with 5 or 10 pounds. And definitely focus on using control and not momentum. As you're coming back down, don't let it just fall down. Really control as you bring it down, as you rotate it to the side, and as you drop it back down. Your shoulders will thank you if you really take the time to focus on movement and not momentum. Focus on control. And this move humbles your ego really quick. I mentioned if you're gonna do this in the gym, you could probably use 5 pounds. And after a few reps, you're gonna be wore out. So really start light, focus on tension, and feel each part of the raise do its job. And again, each part of this is only 1 rep. So we're doing the same. We're gonna do 10, 12 reps with 3 sets. By the end of this, your shoulders are gonna be like jelly, I promise. All right, guys, we're looking good. Let's take a moment to take a water break. You'll steal your wife's water if you can't find yours, but definitely make sure to stay hydrated, especially if you're like me and you're outside. You're probably pouring some serious sweat by now. All right, so let's get down on the ground because this one is kettlebell triceps floor extensions. Now, you don't necessarily have to do it on the ground, but I did find that by removing my legs from the equation, I really had to focus on squeezing my core and my abs to hold the weight up. Form check, only our forearms are moving. We're going to have our biceps right beside our heads, and we are going to only move our forearms up. We're going to bend our elbows and lock it at the top. We're not going to swing our arms out. We're going to keep our elbows as much forward as we can, trying to let our elbows flare. Avoid turning this into a chest press. We want to only focus on having our elbows locked in place and lifting up our forearms only. And again, you don't have to do these on the floor, but I found that it definitely helped. And it was also nice just to sit down for a second. We've got one more exercise to do, but these are definitely going to pack a wall up in terms of getting your triceps burnt out for the rest of the day. So you're gonna be sitting on the floor, bringing the bell towards your head, try not to hit yourself in the head on the way down. And again, keep your elbows locked in. Grab your little sippy sip, and then let's go into the final movement. This was another one that was a little captivating. Going into this, I thought, oh, this is going to be pretty easy. This is not that hard, but I was humbled pretty quickly. This is a very hard exercise. This is the plank to push-up. I underestimated how hard it was to actually get into a push-up position from the planking position. I'll be honest, I had to stop a few times. I did not make it through the full set. I definitely had to stop, reevaluate my life a little bit, breathe very hard, and get back into it. But that's okay, because we're not here to blast through these as quick as possible. We're here to do controlled movements. We're here to feel the burn. We're here to feel the work that we are doing. If you have to stop, you have to stretch, you have to get your breath, you have to, look at your phone and make sure that you're doing the exercise correctly and you're not just killing yourself for no reason. That's totally okay. But yeah, like I said, this is the burner. This is the end exercise for a reason. You're hitting core, you're hitting shoulders, you're hitting triceps that are already burnt out. And again, it's not about speed. It's about keeping your body stable the entire time. So keep a straight line from head to heels. Do your best to have a smooth transition. I know it's difficult, but have a smooth transition as you move from being in the plank position on your elbows to on your hand. Avoid, letting your hips drop or twist. Really focus on keeping your core tight and keeping your whole body supported as you're moving into position. Avoid letting your hips drop or twist. Remember to keep your core really tight and supportive of your body as you're moving your body from the plank position on your elbows to the push-up position on your hands. With push-ups, make sure when we're getting to the top that we're really locking our elbows out. Like imagine in our heads that we have like a rubber band connecting our elbows and they're going to push together. When we get to the top, we're locking our elbows out and we're almost trying to push the inside of our arms together, even though that's impossible. But that's the mind muscle connection. That's the thing you have to do to make sure that you're really focusing and pushing on the right part. We're not burning out our shoulders. We're focusing on chest and triceps at this point. So that's it. That's our push day. That's our shoulders and triceps day. Focusing on controlled strength with compound movements, a good amount of volume, and zero time wasted here. Stick with this, and I guarantee your shoulders and triceps will grow. I think triceps is one of the things that a lot of people forget. A lot of people don't focus on growing their triceps, and I want us to focus on growing our triceps. So let's not our biceps be the main dish. Let's focus on getting our triceps to grow as well, because when your triceps are big, your entire arm looks big. So let's not forget, we want our entire arm to look big, not just our biceps. You guys again so much. I'll see you guys next Sunday for a continuation. And again, if you want this as a downloadable PDF, easy to read, with rest days and tips on progressive overload, check out the link in the description or the pinned comment. We'll have a link to the free PDF of the full week kettlebell workout. Let me know down below, guys. Have you been doing these exercises? Are you getting a lot out of them? What do you want to change? What do you want to see more of? How can I help you guys get back into shape as I'm getting back into shape? We're all just here to support one another and help each other live the best life that we possibly can. So thank you so much for coming again. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.